Welcome, class. Please silence your devices. Tonight, we will dissect a phenomenon of biological horror. Our subject is a young woman named Yan, who suffers from a unique and recurring affliction. Each year, on the anniversary of her birth, her body undergoes a complete and violent metamorphosis. She has always believed this to be a strange, unfortunate rebirth, a random shuffling of the genetic deck. But what if it isn't random at all? What if each new face, each new body, comes with a history that has just been vacated? Let us observe the case of Yan's 27th birthday. Pay close attention. There will be questions at the end. For Yan, birthdays were not a celebration of life, but a countdown to a biological demolition. The routine was a grim ritual. Light the candles, blow them out, smile through the song. The party, the friends, the drinks, they were all a flimsy curtain drawn before the main event. Because she knew, with the certainty of 26 years of experience, that when the clock struck 3:27 a.m., the performance would begin. It starts without pain, but with a symphony of grotesque sound. The wet pop of a femur dislocating, the sickening crunch of a rib cage collapsing inward, the high-pitched whine of skin stretching past its limits. The air fills with the coppery tang of blood and the butcher shop smell of marrow. For 10 minutes, her body is an ugly, violent construction site. She has never gotten used to it. The simple act of opening a soda can would make her flinch for days afterward. Her mother, in a well-meaning but ultimately futile attempt at comfort, calls it a family trait, a bizarre genetic lottery. She speaks of a cousin in Fresno who endures a similar, albeit more frequent, transformation. To Yan, it feels less like a quirk and more like a curse. This year, for her 27th transformation, she didn't even try to sleep. She lay atop a plastic sheet on her bed, a practical measure learned through years of stained linens, and scrolled on her phone, watching the minutes tick toward 3:27. It came with a slight twinge in her bones, the only warning she would receive. She braced herself, focusing on her breathing as the cascade began. Her ribs went concave, her fingers bent backward at impossible angles. Her teeth shifted in their gums, a dry grinding that vibrated through her skull. And then, as suddenly as it began, it was over. Silence returned. She wiggled her new toes first, a system check. Everything seemed to be in working order. This time, she felt taller, a few inches perhaps. She swung her longer legs over the side of the bed and padded to the bathroom to inspect the results. The face staring back from the mirror was not her own. Of course, it never was. Last year's face had been soft, trustworthy. This one was sharp. High cheekbones, a pointed chin. When she tested a smile, a crooked right incisor gave her a predatory look. She cycled through expressions: anger, joy, despair, each one feeling alien, like a poorly fitted mask. This face, she decided, looked mean. Her phone buzzed on the counter. Her mother, right on schedule. "Hey, sweetie." "Ooh, I like this one. You look very svelte." "Hey, Mom." "Did everything go all right? No hiccups this time?" Her mother's perennial fear, ever since the 4th grade incident, where Yan's leg had set facing the wrong direction. "No, Mom, no hiccups." "Well, that's great. I'm very proud of you." Easy for her to say, Yan thought. She'd kept the same face her entire life. Her mother squinted through the screen. "You look a little familiar," she mused. "Did you have this face once before?" The question was a new one. A repeat had never happened. No, I'm pretty sure it's new." "Are you sure? I could have sworn I've seen you somewhere before." "I'm your daughter, Mom," Yan sighed, the absurdity of her life pressing down on her. She cut the call short, promising to phone back tomorrow. Alone again, she stared at the judgmental stranger in the mirror. She was tired. The transformation, while painless, was utterly draining. She crawled back into bed, her new, longer feet poking out from under the two short sheets, and fell into a deep, immediate sleep. 3 hours later, her alarm shrieked. Work. The mundane reality after the supernatural horror. Her clothes fit all wrong. Her pants were now capris, her shirt baggy in the chest. The walk to her car was quicker, the benefit of a longer stride, but it drew the usual stares. Her neighbors were accustomed to seeing a new woman emerge from her apartment every year. But one young girl let out a sharp gasp, her face draining of color, a stronger reaction than usual. The drive to the PR firm was the usual misery of gridlock and bad radio. On the news segment, a perky host mentioned a death. Quote, "Killed in a drunk driving accident at 3:15 a.m. Yan, annoyed, changed the station. Dodrock. She swerved past a slow Volvo, offering a rude gesture. Her new voice, she noted, was louder, harsher. The office was chaos. The TV on the wall was blasting the news, a rare occurrence. The anchor looked somber. Some celebrity had died. Yan's new body already ached with a headache. She found Holly, the lead receptionist, at the center of the storm, calmly chewing gum and scrolling on her phone. "Morning," Yan said. "You know what's going on?" Holly blew a bubble, then finally looked up. Her jaw dropped. "Whoa, you look different." "My birthday was yesterday, Holly," Yan exasperated. She'd worked here for 5 years. Holly chewed thoughtfully, studying her face. "You look kind of familiar." "Really?" "Yeah," she snapped her fingers. "Got it. You look just like my cousin Hannah." A moment's thought. "I mean, it could be worse." She turned back to her phone. "Oh, by the way, Lucy wants to see you, before you get coffee." A meeting with Lucy, the big boss, was never good. As Yan approached the office, another assistant ran out, weeping. The pit in Yan's stomach grew. "Come in." Lucy's voice was unnervingly cheerful. Yan entered the zen-like office, bracing herself to be fired. But when Lucy turned and saw her and burst into tears, Yan was utterly shocked. "Thank God you're all right," Lucy sobbed, wrapping her in a suffocating hug. Yeah, I'm fine. This happens every year, Lucy. It was my birthday yesterday." Lucy's brow furrowed. The tears stopped. "Your birthday?" She trailed off, taking 3 large steps back. Her eyes were wide with a look she'd never seen before, a look of genuine fear. "Wait, Yan, is that—" She scrambled to her desk, her hands shaking as she typed. She beckoned Yan over to the monitor, her face grim. On the screen was a news article. The headline read, "Young Starlet Killed in Accident." The story detailed the death of supermodel Megan Rogers, killed in a head-on collision with a drunk driver at 3:15 that morning, just 12 minutes before Yan's own transformation began. Yan knew the name. Megan Rogers was a new, high-profile client for the firm. Sad, of course, but it had nothing to do with her. "Explain this," Lucy said, her voice a low command. "I'm not sure what you're talking about." "You will be in a second." Lucy scrolled down, and that's when Yan saw the picture. a professional headshot of Megan Rogers. The same strong nose, the same brown eyes, the same slight twist to the upper lip, the same crooked right incisor. It was the face, her face, the face that she had woken up with, a face that was new to her, but intimately, impossibly familiar. It was the face of a dead woman. But it couldn't be, because it was her own face, clear as day, staring back at her from the screen. The comments from her mother, from Holly, suddenly clicked into place with horrifying clarity. They had seen this face before, on magazine covers, on television. "Now, I know about your little situation," Lucy said,
her voice trembling. "But you can see why this might leave me with a few questions." Jan could barely hear her. The foundation of her reality had crumbled into dust. All her life she believed the faces were new, blank slates, rebirths. She had mourned the loss of a self she could never keep, but she never considered where the new ones came from. As the dead eyes of Megan Rogers stared accusingly at her from the monitor, a single, catastrophic question began to scream in the silent spaces of her mind, drowning out everything else. Have I been wearing the faces of the dead this entire time? A chilling question, is it not? A complete upending of one's identity. The subject, Jan, had always viewed her condition as an internal process, a biological anomaly contained within herself. But this new data suggests something far more parasitic. Is her body a vessel, a biological vacuum that in the moments of its own transformation latches on to the nearest, most recently vacated form? Does she unknowingly steal the identities of the recently deceased? And if so, how many of her 26 previous faces belonged to women who met an untimely end at 3:15 a.m. on the day of her birth? That is the true horror of this case. The realization that you are not being reborn, but are in fact living evidence of someone else's death. You are the unwilling, unknowing inheritor of a ghost's flesh. Ponder that. Consider the stranger you see in the mirror each morning, and ask yourself, who were they before they were you? Class dismissed.